expressed in this program by the host or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis, and breaking scoreboards. Simone of the Olympics, defense and big business. The Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the 3 in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bell in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host DeeTrynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host DeeTrynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer.
DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz. Sports. Man, what's really good with y'all? You feel me? So, I'm in between things, gotta handle a few things. You know how the regular work life go. All right. But I wanted to stop in and chop it up with y'all. All right, because it's a few things that we got to talk about that's happened this past week that it just don't sit well with me. All right. Now, unfortunately, the Browns were unable to come away with the victory this past Sunday at home in the home opener versus the New York Jets. All right, let's talk about a few things. First off, Cleveland controlled this game, and for the most part, the offense looked fantastic. It looked phenomenal. Okay. Jacoby was like 22 for 27, bro. All right, he was hitting it on the money. Him and Amari Cooper seemed to have been to develop some type of nice chemistry, okay? They is balling, all right? And they just didn't get enough opportunities. I feel like the defense really underwhelmed all game. They allowed the New York Jets to drive multiple 10-plus play drives to score. The special team turned out a 2 minutes to go in the game. All right. New York Jets had no timeouts, none whatsoever. All right. Now, when we had the ball before we scored, we was on the upset. All right. We ran the ball once we got inside like the 30 or 40, ran the ball in. Now, before Nick Chubb came in and scored, it was all Kareem Hunt. And Kareem Hunt twice could have went down. Twice could have kept the clock running, but he didn't. For some reason, Kareem, on one play, his momentum just was too much. And on the other play, the defender, it was a lineman that came, and he yanked Kareem out of bounds. But Kareem could have probably did something beforehand if it was on his mind. That's one of those things where, that's got to be on your mind before you get into the play. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to always have that split-second moment to readjust from what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this type of game. But either way it goes, Nick Chubb comes in and scores from 12 yards out. Now, granted, on this play, at the 2-yard line, the Browns had another first down. You know what I'm saying? If Nick Chubb would have went down, okay, yeah, you know, he got the first and they could have just ran the clock out, probably still scored, but it'd have probably only been like 20 seconds left in the game. Ain't no way you coming back down 2 touchdowns in 20 seconds in no time. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of them impossible things. However, when you supposed to have a top 5 defense, now everybody has their opinion who they want to blame for this.
You hear me, bro?
Huh?
You broke up. You broke up
What'd you
after
say,
you
bro?
said. I said you broke up after you said top 5 defense, so couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, top 5. We supposed to have a top 5 defense, right? My apologies, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Top 5 defense. It just ain't no way that with 2 minutes left, a 13-point lead with a supposed top 5 defense. And I don't say supposed as I'm taking a shot at the Browns. I'm just saying supposed because of the result of the situation. All right. And for some reason, you allowed a 40-year-old Joe Flacco to not throw 1, but 2 touchdowns in a minute and 55 seconds. All right. Now, the first one was a bomb to Corey Davis. All right. What makes this scenario and situation magnified is the Robbie Anderson situation in game 1. When we were up, and all the defense got to do is come down and get a stop, you know, put the proverbial nail in the coffin, and the defense did not do it. They gave up a 75-yard touchdown strike to Robbie Anderson because of miscommunication between John Johnson and Greg Newsom. So then, against the Jets, they give up a 66-yard touchdown to Corey Davis, and it's miscommunication between Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit. Even though a lot of people are saying it was just Denzel Ward, if you look at the play from different angles and versions, you could pretty much go with the guess that they were 2. All right. Now, from what I know, Denzel ain't came out and took ownership of that, but everybody else has. Right. But that ain't the biggest issue. All right. So anyway, the Browns 31-30, right? You know, the fact that K York missed the extra point, I don't really got no issues with Cade as a rookie. You know, you gonna go through stuff in the NFL. But I think it's one of those things where the ball don't lie, right? So because if the ball don't lie, then it's a legitimate gripe in some aspects for Chubb not going down. Because if Chubb goes down, K York don't really have that opportunity to do that. Because ain't no way the Browns not going to score from the 2. But they probably would have kneeled the first 2 plays and then ran a play on the 3rd play. You know what I'm saying? On the 4th play and left them at the 1-yard line or something. All case scenario. But, bruh, fuck that. Excuse my French. We not doing that. Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper were the only players that scored. Okay? David Njoku didn't have a horrible game. He just had a bad time to have a drop. Other than that, David Njoku played a pretty good game. Harrison Bryant played an impactful role in this game. DPJ almost caught the touchdown of the week, of the year. That pass Jacoby threw to him in the back of the end zone that ultimately, you know, was ruled incomplete, and which led the way for Amari Cooper to get his touchdown, which was the very next play, I think, 2 plays later. But that that play was raw, bro. DPJ was on him and Jacoby got a nice set of chemistry. It looked like him and Njoku got a nice set of chemistry. And it also looked like him and Amari Cooper developing nice chemistry. Even Anthony Schwartz seemed to be more or less on the same page with him. So, granted, the only guy that ain't really on the page so far is Demetric Felton. And he's been playing returner. I'm going to ask my Cleveland fans to give him a second to get used to playing returner. Because to Demetric Felton's where it's a defense, he ain't had to focus on one position since he came on the team. Demetric been playing running back, receiver, slot receiver, fourth receiver, trick back, and they just now giving him a chance to really just be the kick returner because Jakeem Grant is out. So I think personally, Demetric Felton deserves a little pass, and he deserves a chance to be able to get comfortable in his role. If we get to like week 6 and Demetric ain't starting to make no waves, I'm gonna say week 9, week 10. If we get to like week 9, week 10, and Demetric ain't made no waves, y'all, excuse my background, then you know, I feel you. But right now, man, let him blame Nick Chubb for not going down. Even though I understand it. Wait, hold on, y'all. Yeah, so even though I understand it, even though I could see the bits and pieces, just knowing the game of football, why that's the smartest football play you could make, I just feel like that's a bigger indictment on the defense. Now, you know, I was on the fire Joe Woods, then I was on the defense of Joe Woods, and to a degree, I still defend Joe Woods. But you are the leader of the defense. I don't think the sky's falling or everything is all bad, but this communication issue has to stop. This miscommunication issue has to stop. He has to get a stranglehold on this. However he got to do it. All right? He got to get a stranglehold on this. Maybe he got to simplify the defense because it's things that was going on Sunday that I didn't like. And I watched the game a couple times, okay? The first thing I didn't like was why is Jadeveon Clowney, who was hurt now, and I don't think it's because of this, but I think it's played a part. Why is Jadeveon Clowney, Anthony Walker, Denzel Ward, and John Johnson III playing special teams? For any reason. Why? I don't see how you can legitimize that, and you got all these young guys on the team that's trying to make waves to help the team. How you think they gonna get a feel for the game if they not getting in the game in real game action? I don't understand. Okay, I don't like the fact that they're not playing matchup football. What I mean is, when I say play matchup football, right? I think as it as taking my defender matchup
can't hear you, bro, if you talking. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he said hold on or what, but can't hear you. There's some little technical difficulties right now. He'll be back, most likely.
Oh, okay, I see. Hello?
Yeah, you was gone for a minute.
Yeah, so another thing I was saying I see is why is Grant Delpit playing coverage? Grant Delpit wants to play in the box. He wants to be physical. Okay? So why not have him play to what he want to play like? Why keep dropping him in coverage? A big part of me feel like the reason it's a lot of miscommunication and mishaps with this Brown secondary is because Greedy Williams is hurt. And as much as people be trying to write off Greedy Williams, you know, and it's unfortunate he had so many injury issues, all right, he is still an elder statesman and leader to some degree on that defensive secondary. Because outside of Denzel Ward, he been there the longest. So, you know, he knows things. He has a role on this defense in certain type of coverages. Maybe it would have been his role to check Corey Davis. Whatever the case, though, I don't understand. Now, in the first two games, Joe and moving Jadeveon Clowney around. But I would like to see him improve on freeing them up. Opposing defenses are looking for Miles and Jadeveon. And you can only keep a hold on them so long. But, bruh, you could literally, on blitzing packages, have these two as your main two blitzers and have extra guys in coverage. It's 11 guys on defense. You could literally bring in 3 defensive tackles, maybe even 4 defensive tackles, and just blitz Jadeveon and Miles wherever they want to go in at. However they want to do it. And just leave your guys in coverage, man on man. Disguise scheme. Where you can get Miles and Jadeveon with a full set of steam running up against the line of scrimmage. Like, I don't understand why he doesn't get this creative. They're blitzing every play. They're uber athletic. Why not find different ways to get your secondary in positions of power? You know when you blitz them guys, that the quarterback goes from having maybe 3 seconds to throw the ball to like a second and a half, 2 seconds, 2.2 seconds to get rid of the ball. You know if they running at a full head of steam, whatever offensive lineman got to catch them standing up is probably going to get ran over. Which means our secondary, which is all pretty good in man coverage, has a good chance to get a break on the ball. So, yes, I'm saying this defense is not aggressive enough. It's getting more aggressive, and this is only week 2. You know, to some people, this is only week 1 of the season. You know, a lot of people still count, and I'm one of those to a degree. I'm one of those to a degree that still hold, you know, the first game of the season now in the 17-game season as the last preseason game per se. Second game of the season is really like the first game of the season per se. All right, and in these 2 games, like I say, you know, he being aggressive, but he ain't being aggressive enough. It's little coaching things. You know, when you blitzing 6 guys, that means you got to have a hat on the hat for 5 eligible receivers. It's a good chance that the offense is going to scheme a way to have a guy come on a delay route. which is meaning that he gonna block a little bit, then he gonna go out for a pass. It should be a blitzers whose job is to pay attention to that on your defense. When you blitzing, bro, usually you will be the guy to have this player. So when you blitz over him, you make sure you make contact with him when you blitz. If you don't run into nobody else with a full set of steam, because you blitzing, you need to run ahead with a full head of steam for the blitz. Just to ensure that the quarterback views him as not an option. Why would you do that? Because you have guys who own to the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like Joe Wood still bringing this, and no offense, it took you to the Super Bowl, but you didn't win it. It made that team formidable, but they ain't won at the highest level. So clearly there's still a tweak somewhere that has to be done, whether it's defense or offense. But the defense, like I said, it ain't a total blunder. It's still growing. You know what I'm saying? It's guys that's making defense look formidable. But right now, bro, these miscommunication hiccups is overshadowing all the progressive good that's going on. Joe Woods cannot play in the game. You know what I'm saying? He can only do so much. Okay. Well, then why you ain't been did that, bro? My fault, y'all. You know what I'm saying? He can only do so much as a coach. The players play the game. And you've been playing football for most of your life. And by the time you got to this level, you know what I'm saying? Definitely multiple years. So it's just certain things from your position that you should look for, especially if you're looking to be, the best that you can be at that position. Joe Woods' defense got killed with running backs and tight ends. Tight ends caught 13 passes and like 3 touchdowns. No, they caught one. Because Garrett had 2. Corey Davis had 1, and Breece Hall had 1. Okay, but Breece Hall, Michael Carter, Ian Thomas, Record, all of them had like a collective of 13 catches. So another thing that I didn't like is why is Anthony Walker playing in coverage? Don't get me wrong, Anthony. We had 3 defenders in the top 10 and PFF defensive grades. I think it was Myles Garrett, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and Anthony Walker. So even though I'm saying this, these guys are playing really well. But man, Anthony Walker is not a coverage linebacker. That's not where he's his most effective. And the whole point of defense, a team defense, is playing where you're most effective. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and Jacob Phillips, those are the guys that should be handling, all of the coverage responsibility when it comes to the linebacking core. Those are the guys. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Walker, Sione Takitaki, those are tackling machines. Those are guys that can get, okay then, man. Those are guys that can penetrate, get good tackles for loss. If you got to throw them in coverage, they can do a nice little job in certain instances. And that's how you want to keep it. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah should be getting a lot of tackles off coverage. That's where he should be getting his tackles at, of being in coverage. Jacob Phillips, as a tweener, as a guy who play in the trenches and playing a little coverage, that's where he should be getting his tackles at. All right? Jacob Phillips and Jeremiah Wusu Morris or Anthony Walker. No. John Johnson III. No. If that's the case, I wouldn't put Grant Delpit out there, but I'd put Ronnie Harrison out there. You got Richard LeCounte, Anthony Bell, they can play out there. You know what I'm saying? You got defensive ends that can play out there. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah Likely, guys you want to get minutes to. You know what I'm saying? Alex Wright. Those guys could play special teams because they're not the main starters. The main starters should never play special teams. And the fact that your defensive coach and as far as defense, their production, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all
You just went back out, bruh. Yeah, he on the road, so y'all be patient. He's on the road right now and not stationary. One day you will remember dancing in September. Damn, did I get all them alarms? I think I did. They is deep as shit in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sniper on the roof. Gotta get him.
Getting in position. Target acquired. Standing by. Target lost.
Where's he going? Let's see if we go get DeeTrynt back, y'all. It might be a wrap. Might be a wrap.
There's Sicario over here, next to the truck.
Man, where is he at? Take him off. Let me see. All right. Did he just text me or something? Oh, that's somebody else. There you go.
I'm back now.
Yeah.
Where I fade out at?
I don't remember.
All right. So I was saying, y'all, it's a trickle down effect. You know what I'm saying? And I don't knock people for holding the players on the field more responsible because, they are the most people with the most freedom to make judgment calls in that second. The difference between good players and great players is they trust in their knowledge of the game, what they know about their position, So, and I say that in reference to when I was speaking on, when they blitz, because a lot of times in this past game when they blitz, I seen Greg Newsome blitzing. I would rather see MJ Emerson blitzing or Grant Delpit. You know, just because a guy is not in a certain place on the field doesn't mean, you know, that he can't be effective. You know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer that if I'm about to run corner blitzes and my corners aren't good blitzers, then I'm going to move them to a safety position on this particular play. So that way they can remain to their strength in coverage. They just coverage it from a different place. You know what I'm saying? But they still running the same thing. You know what I'm saying? This is the difference between the great defensive schemers and just the good defensive schemers. You know, they understand that. Just because this guy isn't lined up at cornerback doesn't mean he still doesn't have coverage duties because I moved him at safety on this play. It's just that the safety that I want to blitz has a better chance of making it or doing what I need him to do by being in the cornerback's position on this play or on the slot's position on this play. You know what I'm saying? I'm a believer in that. Like, it's play by play. You feel me? This is where I be like, when I be like, Jadavian and Miles should not solely line up on the line every play. I want a quarterback to say, oh, Jadavian in coverage? Oh, Lord, I'm about to abuse that. Not knowing that he on a delayed blitz on your ass, and I got motherfucking Denzel Ward sitting behind him, covering whoever coming behind him. You know what I'm saying? Or I got Ronnie Harrison there, specifically for whoever coming behind him, because that's all the Jets did. Whenever Miles got free, they just threw behind where he was at because Joe Woods ain't playing chess. It's not a guy right there to fill that void. You know what I'm saying? I can scheme up some defenses, bro. Some blitzes, like, you give me total control of some defense, and I'll get you some pressure. I'll scheme the fuck out that shit. And you'll be looking at me like, this unorthodox as fuck. So what? Because in these formations, I only run these plays. I run these specific plays out these formations for a reason. I want you to come out here and say, oh, I'm about to abuse that. Not even knowing that you don't even got that much time to do that. And the guy that you think open is probably getting chessed by my best defender. This shit chess. You feel me? That way you start imposing your will on opposing offenses, man. But, you know, I just, like I say, you know, I don't think the sky's falling, even though that's how I may sound. I don't think the sky's falling. You know, it's still early. You know, they can come out, you know, tomorrow against the Steelers and have a hell of a performance. You know what I'm saying? And it's sole possession of first place in the division. Being that the whole division lost yesterday. You know, we could have been in sole first place and then used it with 10 days off before we go play Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? But listen, in the NFL, every game counts. Every game counts. It's not this game more important than that game. Every play. Because you never know what a playoff seed or spot is going to come down to in the final weeks of the season. You never know how, you know, you not running hard on this one play to score that touchdown affects a tiebreaker when the tiebreaker comes down to who scored the most points. Or, you know, how a defense slips up on a play and allows a broken play to turn into a touchdown. And that affects a tiebreaker with points at the end of the season. You just never know, man. You know what I'm saying? But I will end it off by saying, too, the special teams coach has to get upgraded. We've had this same special teams coach for about 6 or 7 seasons. And our special teams has sucked or been mediocre at best the whole 6 or 7 seasons. I don't even think we didn't return the kickoff for a touchdown or a punt for a touchdown in like the last 5 years. So, you know, we need to do something there. Field position is a big part of the game. The punter played excellent. Cade only had that one hiccup, but special teams in two instances really changed the complexion of the game. We were up 14-7, and they allowed a fake punt to extend the game, extend the drive to turn into a touchdown. So now, once again, special teams and defense not coming through. And then at the end of the game, after the defense let them score, after the defense let the offense score, then the special teams failed to to cover an onside kick. And even on that play, Jeremiah Moore was out there, and he went to attack, but the ball fell right where he left from. So maybe you should have stayed. You got 10 yards before they could touch the ball. You know what I'm saying? That means you got a chance to figure something out beforehand. But I love my Brownies. They will be playing the Steelers tomorrow in Cleveland off Lake Erie, lakefront. All right, it's gonna be smacking. You feel me? The Steelers come in kind of banged up though. No T.J. Watt, Stephon Tuitt retired. Minka Fitzpatrick is balling though. He balling. But I think Jacoby gonna do well against their secondary because Jacoby's a smart quarterback. I don't blame him for the interception that he threw at the end of the game because I don't view Jacoby as a franchise quarterback. Now, if that's a franchise quarterback, then you might have some gripe with him having that interception at the end of the game. But in my opinion, he should have never been in that position to begin with, to even have to do that. So the fact that he, that's what it was. Shit happens. You know what I'm saying? It was what it was. But he could have came down and won the game. Had he, completed that pass, we was in field goal range. And Kane could have came and saved the day again. You know what I mean? But again, all those things probably wouldn't have even transpired, if, Nick Chubb would have went down. So again, I'm going to say this. I don't agree with the blaming of Nick Chubb, and I don't like the fact that he had to come and take ownership of it. And I think him taking ownership of it is a big indictment on Joe Woods and that defense. Flat out. You know what I'm saying? That's just him taking the high road. But, like I say, man, football, when you get to the level of winning and winning consistently and being a champion, it's the small things that make the big picture. It's the no penalties, no turnovers. It's the being in the right spot at the right time all the time. It's having your hands back. It's not doing the excessive things. It's doing the smartest thing you can do on a play, every play. You know what I mean? That's winning football. That's championship football. But it's been a pleasure rocking with y'all today. As I say, I just wanted to step in and chop with y'all. You know what I'm saying? While I'm, in transition and going to handle my business. It's always a pleasure. DeeTrynt, GameChanga Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz. Like I say, we usually stream on all social platforms. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Catch us on Instagram. If you missed the live show, you can definitely catch the replays on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other social streaming platforms. But stay blessed, stay dangerous, and I'm gonna get up with y'all in a second.